Here are the main things you need to know to learn for Elise on the guitar. You do these, you'll learn this piece easy peasy. It's a beautiful song, and I know you're gonna love working on it. First things first, you need to get a copy of the sheet music for this. You can do that. You can find the button and click that and get your free book of pieces, including for Elise and a whole bunch of other fun ones. Once you do that, the next step when you're learning this piece is to make small sections. We don't want to start at the beginning and just plow horse all the way through this thing 100 times, hoping that by the end it'll get fixed up. It won't. And so instead, make small sections, just a measure or two, like to this much. Just that much is fine. A measure, 2 measures, just a little bitty bit, and then work on that, loop it a bunch of times, and then go to the next one and loop it, and then put them together. This is the way that all of the best musicians in the world practice and learn new pieces. Nobody just reads it over and over and then hopes to get it good. One more tip with this is that you cross the bar line. These are the bar lines right here. We want to go one note past a bar line, and that just makes it just completes it. It just makes things sound more resolved, and so everything that you play will sound more musical if you practice this way. It's a great tip for anything that you're learning. It'll just make everything sound better. So let's take a look at this first section. So just a quick note on how this is written. If you're a tab player, that's perfectly fine. You can still take a look up top and see what's going on. For instance, up here we have all these letters. These are right hand fingering, so you can know what finger in your right hand to play. These go P is the thumb, I index, M middle, easily enough, and A is the annular or the ring finger. And then C is the pinky, but we don't really use that one. So P-I-M-A, starting with the thumb, is how that works. What we can also see, even if you're a tab player, what we can also see from the notation is when there is a long note playing. So whenever we have stacked notes, right here we have 2 notes on top of each other. That means we play them at the same time. And oftentimes that means that one note will continue to hold while other ones play underneath. And this happens a lot in guitar music. So when we see that, you want to make sure to keep holding that note as long as it needs to be held. So with this one, I mean, we're going to replay it right here again. So you can see 2 to go into 2, but we want to hold it. We don't want to stop it out. And so that's just something that's going to make it sound much better instead of being choppy. Another thing with this piece in particular that will help is with this line, whenever you play this line, make sure that you let, this is right here, this is this open E, that's this E right here, and then we have the 4th fret on the next string. Instead of muting that out each time, instead of playing clunky like this, let it ring. Make a nice tunnel with your fingers. That's going to be more beautiful because it's going to resolve better into the nice the big landing. So that's something to take note of. The other thing with this is that you can look at the notation and find these little numbers beside the notes sometimes, and those are left-hand fingering. So O is just the open string, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. The thumb doesn't have a number. So that's another bit of information if you're a tab player that you can get from the notation without having to read music or anything like that. You can just look up above it and notice what's going on. For instance, these notes right here, this is all the same thing. So you can see that even if you're playing the tab, you can look at the left-hand fingerings and the right-hand fingerings for these notes down here. Another very helpful thing to do whenever you're learning a piece such as this is to look for chords that you already know. For instance, if we just, let's go back to the main score. If we look at this, these are largely chords, these measures like this. And if you'll notice them, these are A minor and E. This is A minor and this is an E chord. And then this is A minor again. And so this happens all over the place. You can't even read this because of my writing, but this happens all over the place. So even if you don't necessarily read the music, you can still find little bits of chords that you know within it, and that can help you to learn it. If you can just remember this second full measure here is the bottom half of an A minor chord. So if you know your A minor chord, then you're good to go with it. Same thing with an E chord. If you know that, then that's just one more bit of information you can use to memorize and to learn the tune more quickly. Let's talk about rhythm for just a second. Luckily with this song, it's mainly just a steady stream of eighth notes. It's just da 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 throughout the entire thing. However, there is this one thing, and that is that we have these pickup notes here at the beginning. A pickup note is an incomplete measure of music. So that we're in 3/8, that means there's 3/8 notes or 6 16th notes, which is what we have here in each one. And so most of these measures have 6 of these notes, whether they're set up just in a block of 6 or whether they're set up in 2 groups of 3 like this one is. So all of a sudden at the beginning, we have this one that's only 2. So whenever you're coming in with that, then it helps to count it. And the way to count this is you can just say 3 and, or you can say 5, 6. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And that's the 2 options of how to count this. For 5, 6 might be easier because oftentimes the way that for Elise goes is it feels in 2 groups of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and, or 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. So that's what the rhythm is doing. So count in with 5, 6, or 3 and 1. Now once later in the piece there's this longer one, then you really want to count to make sure that you have the right number of notes in it, because it's easy to get in there and say, uh-oh, where's the actual, and then you're just going to wing it. So instead, make sure you count how many open E's you have, or count with the rhythm and know when it's going to go to the open B. Whatever you have to do to make sure that you know exactly that you're playing the music as it's written, and it doesn't become something else in your head, which it can very easily do. So here are some tips on learning Beethoven's Für Elise. Download the sheet music by clicking the button and make small sections. Mind your rhythm, count when you need to. Let the long notes hold over the other ones and let that open E ring out. And these are some great things to just keep in mind when you're playing this. If you'd like to listen to me playing this, then you can stick around. Good luck learning this beautiful tune. See you soon.